Hey, Abnormal
Hey,
family,
guys.
how are you? I'm glad you guys can join us tonight.
Hope you are doing good.
We're going to be talking about something pretty big. Hopefully, it's going to open a lot of eyes.
Okay.
We have a guest that's going to be coming on with us. She was on with us before. Some of you may remember her. Her name was Jessie. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring her on, and then we're going to get started. I'll try to get to as many comments as I can, guys. So forgive me if I don't see all of them, but just try to put them in all caps, and Kaylee and I will catch them as quick as we can. And then, of course, we'll do the questions at the end of the live, too. Hi, Jesse. Are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
All right. Well, we are live with everybody. I guess I'll just kind of let you start telling your story, and then I'll kind of like jump in every now and again if I have a question or if I ask something and you're not comfortable with answering it. Just tell me, and then that'll be totally fine.
Okay. Well, first off, just a couple points I wanted to make, and that is, I just want to address. Always, um, I don't normally always usually tell people, but I am prior service.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the military and had to leave due to a civilian injury, which broke my heart because if I could have maintained being in the military, I would have. It was one of my childhood things, being able to go to the parades and see the military people going down the street, and I always was just in awe watching them. And
Yeah.
it was always something in my mind that the military were people that did things to help good people that were unfortunate and couldn't do and get help that they needed themselves.
Right.
So being in the military and being in the service, it was something that I really enjoyed, and I was very privileged to be in.
Well, I want to thank you for your service in the military.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That being said, the reason why I would like to tell my side of the story is because things have been altered and fabricated in ways that make not only myself but other people look in a bad position. And I've always been one to stick up for, even if it makes me look bad, stick up to those that don't have a voice.
Right.
So I want to mention that the conference itself was great. I had a wonderful time at the conference. I met so many wonderful people. I made so many connections. And when I returned home, I felt anew. I felt like for once I was actually in an environment where people actually were able to tell their stories and be heard and not judged for the experiences that they had. And it was a wonderful feeling to be in a group that wasn't judging me or anybody else for anything that we had ever experienced in our life. I did get to speak with a certain individual that was running the conference towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
They were very busy, which is understandable, and I did appreciate the fact that I was able to sit down for a few minutes before my car came and I had to leave to come back home at the end of the whole conference.
Right.
So that being said, something that I wanted to address about a situation that had happened during the final night at the after party. I did catch Bettina's show after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as what she said, pretty much everything was accurate. There were a few things that were a little different that I remember, and that is what I'm going to address.
Mm-hmm.
So after the incident, if anybody is aware, there was a situation where prior to I had been talking with her and sharing some stories about myself and my daughter, and she was going to talk to me about it, and she was talking to other people, which is completely understandable. There were so many people there, again, wanting to share their stories and tell about everything else that was going on. And I was talking to Nellie at this point, who I have to say is another wonderful person, so sweet, so kind to talk to. And it was a little later that something had happened, that they had, Bettina and another individual had come out, and there was some things that were going on, and it was suggested that we prayed, and so that's what we did. Apparently somebody had altered my story that said that she was acting crazy, and that was not the case. Not the case at all. She was having a hard time, and I get it. I don't know her history completely, but based on things that have happened in the past, it would make sense. And I was there supporting her and trying to calm down as well. And, it was going to be okay. And we prayed. And that is when she walked off, and we were asked to go get Josh. That's when I went in, told him he needed to come out. He was talking with another individual at that time. Told him he needed to come out and that Bettina needed to talk to him. So he came out. I do not know the conversation that had happened. I stayed by the front doors of the hotel, and he went and he talked to Bettina, and he came back in, and all I remember is him saying, "I've got to go handle something."
Right.
He went back in, and I walked over to Bettina to talk with her, and she was explaining some of the situation and how she was affected by it spiritually, which is, again, understandable considering her previous history. And when we were standing out there in the parking lot, that's when Josh came back. His comment that was misconstrued, that he had stated, was when Nellie and the other individual said we should pray. He said, "Don't touch me. I put my hands on him and I grabbed him. I am unclean." And that stuck with me because the only thing I could think of was, why would he even possibly lose it to that point where he would go in and put his hands on somebody?
Wow.
Now, I have to say, I've never heard of, previously, before this, I had never heard of anybody saying that they would be unclean by touching another individual, by being around another individual. That is all new to me. And again, I went to this conference to learn things. I'm all about asking questions and trying to figure out what is going on in this paranormal world around us.
Right.
The only thing we can do is ask questions. So when he made that comment, the only thing in my brain that was going on was, why would you touch somebody? Why wouldn't you talk to them? Why wouldn't you ask? Again, I wasn't in the room. This is what was stated when he returned back out. There were not a lot of people out there.
Right.
What?
Sorry, what was Bettina doing to be like acting so weird? If you could elaborate on that.
It was just shortness of breath. Like, she was just kind of weak. She had to sit down. We were all standing when we were praying, so it was just kind of like a weakness, and she kind of just lost her footing and just needed to sit down, like she was being kind of, I don't want to just say like taken by the spirit, or like, she was, I don't know how to explain it other than, in my mind, the way that I took it was that the Holy Spirit was trying to fill her, and she was being overwhelmed with it, or filled with the Holy Spirit, and she had felt or had been assaulted by some type of evil entity. However, I cannot say that it was this other person. I have been in talking with this other person and the other person that was involved that Josh has stated he had touched, and they are wholeheartedly two of the most sweetest, kindest people that I could have said I've met there.
Mm-hmm.
They allowed everybody to enter their hotel room on the second night and pretty much party it up in their room and chit chat and talk and hang out, and it gave everybody space to talk and mingle and have a really good time. And then the second night, they were the ones that actually set up the conference room so that we had a larger space and everybody could hang out and chat and tell their stories and take pictures and laugh and have a good time. They didn't have to do that. They were doing it because they felt that they wanted to be able to give back to everybody, and that's the type of people that they were. Whether or not she had an attachment from something, possibly, I can't say. I don't know. But obviously something had attached to her, and she needed the prayers, and things were better after that, from what I can tell.
Yeah.
But I wasn't there much longer after that. I pretty much went and got my bag and sat down and was waiting for my car.
I noticed in her live that she did notice that she had to have like an exorcism done.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was from that or if it was something previously. I know she had said that she had been spiritually attacked previously in the past, and
wow.
I would assume that even a spiritual attack would be just like any other type of attack or assault on the body or your immune system.
Mm-hmm.
Once you're hit with something, you are more likely to be attacked again.
Yeah, they say, if you ever experience something like that, like I've heard that your body is more susceptible to becoming like possessed again.
Right.
Yeah, wow.
So I reached out to her afterwards and asked her how she was doing and wished her well, and understandably that she just needed to kind of take some time and recharge and get some rest,
right.
and hopefully things would get better. And I hadn't heard from her afterwards. I assumed that she was just very busy with other things, which is understandable.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I had a hard time understanding why he would have said something like that. I reached out to the individual after the fact, and she stated that none of that happened, that's not how it happened, and I was so confused as to why he would say something like that, but I blew it off. However, one of the other things that struck me was when we were back in the hotel and I was waiting for my car. I had started telling Josh my story, part of my story, because I had, again, like I had come on and told you guys a bunch of different things that had happened, and as I was telling him, actually he wasn't actually sitting down at that time. It was Anthony who was listening to it for a while, and we were conversating about some of the experiences. Josh caught the very tail end of it, and that's when he was asking about what the creature looked like that I had seen in my room. So I went and I pulled out my book and I showed him, and oh, that's interesting. And she's like, don't tell me anymore. We're gonna have you on the show. I want to have you on the show when we go back. I'm like, okay. Mm-hmm. And then we started talking about other things. Now, keep in mind, prior to the conference, I had actually unsubscribed from abnormal investigation. The reason being was prior to the conference, there were some things on the shows that I didn't agree with or didn't follow along with, and I figured, I'm just not going to watch anymore. And it was on one of his shows actually that he had stated that even if we don't agree with something, it's still important to get everybody's opinions and everybody's information, because even little bits and pieces will help fill the gap and help fill the puzzle pieces. So it was him and that comment that made me go, you know what, I'm going to go back and I'm going to resubscribe. And I resubscribed to Normal Investigation. And I'm glad I did. I ended up, after coming back, there was more stories and more things that I've learned from this channel since after the conference, and it's helped fill different questions that I've had as far as the paranormal circumstances and experiences that I've had, and helped answer other things as well. So while we were sitting there, however, I had mentioned another individual that just kind of rubbed me wrong on this show. And Josh's comment was, Mike and I are friends. And I said, well, I understand that because you had made a comment about how you had hoped that he would come. And he goes, yeah, I'm actually really sad and disappointed that he wasn't here. But he was having the medical surgery or whatever. And I said, yeah, everybody knows that. And he goes, yeah, so I'm really disappointed that he wasn't here, and it's a shame, but it is what it is. And because we're friends. I'm like, okay. Mm-hmm. So it was sometime after that when he had made that comment and basically attacked him and said everything else that it was not what he had told me face to face, that I started questioning things, which I should have been doing all along.
Right, yeah.
It was upon me questioning those comments that I started to get attacked on the channel and attacked in Facebook and then attacked by him.
There's a lot of that.
And that's when I discovered. Go ahead.
I was just saying there's a lot of the attacking going around.
Yeah. Well, and that's when I discovered it's okay to attack other people, but it's not okay to question him. And we're supposed to just take his word for it.
Right.
But yet, in this community, questions are vital.
Exactly.
We always have to question everything. And
like what we were taught, no question
is
like a stupid question, is how it was phrased to us growing up. Because if you don't ask questions, then you don't know. Wow.
When I was told that, I shouldn't be questioning things, and I should just be taking the word for it. That's when my red flags started going up, going, no, I can't sit back and just take anybody's word for anything.
Yeah.
So that's my story.
I guess I have a couple questions. How was like Josh and Anthony and Mushu acting during all this? And then if you could maybe elaborate a little bit more on the incident that took place. People are asking like what led up to that point, I guess, and
what led up to it?
Yeah. And like how it happened.
I would have to say there was a misunderstanding that led up to it. That's my opinion. I don't want to say a whole lot more because it brings in other people that I can't speak for.
Right. Oh, that's understandable.
But and again, I'm about the truth, and I'm not going to fabricate anything that
right.
So, as far as Anthony and Mushu, I didn't see a whole lot of Mushu. And again, Anthony was there and he was talking to me prior to Josh actually sitting down, and they seemed fine. They seemed, great, and they were very easy to talk to all throughout the conference. They were so helpful and always answering questions and helping people, and just seemed really great. No issues, no thoughts, no concern, and I was really happy to have gotten to meet them. So it wasn't until afterwards that I started getting comments and messages that made me kind of question.
Right. I've gotten I've gotten a lot of comments, and like after everything that had happened, because in the beginning we thought everything was, practically worked out, because we had the phone conversation, and then we did a live, and Josh actually came into the live, and we were speaking of another Anthony, and he made a comment and said, make sure that that's not my Anthony. Well, we did.
Right.
And then
I remember that.
Yeah, and then it was like, I don't know, like a couple days later, if I remember right, everything just like blew up. I mean, we just started getting attacked from like left and right. We were getting accused of having all these fake accounts, and then this other guy, Abe, he started making all these these videos threatening me and his, as he wouldn't say my name, but he was referring to me as this Lulu, and saying, like how he'd like to bore sight his guns in on me or his tank. I don't remember like word for word what it was. And then, it went to like body shaming me, and then, the other people. But then they get on these shows, and they talk about, if you're a man, you're not going to do that, to a woman, or, do it to such and such. But yet, if you watch some of the videos, that's exactly what they're doing on there. They're being, to me, very racial in certain ways, because of how they speak about our, Cherokee heritage, and, about the comments that have been made on there. We get thousands of comments, and, you can't hold somebody to not seeing a particular comment, because we go through them the best that we can, and if we miss one, then we're sorry for that, but we don't back racism at all.
Yeah, no.
We're not a racist family, never have been. And then, because we have different like family members of different racial backgrounds, so to me, to be having this blown up everywhere that we're these racist people, it's totally not true.
Well, and it's that whole do as I say, not as I do.
Right.
Yeah, I have the video where he insulted me and called me Kool-Aid woman because of my weight. Well, he doesn't know my history, and he doesn't know what shoes or what I've walked through my life.
Right.
And so for him to insult me, if that's the only thing that he can do is to attack my weight, it just goes to show you how much of a bully he really is.
Right.
Just disrespectful.
That's childish. That's, fourth grade stuff. And
right.
I've grown out of listening to people that talk like that, and that's when I lost any and all respect that I had ever had. He reminds me so much of my abusive acts that it's unreal. I actually showed the video to my mother, and her comment too was the first thing that she thought of was my ex. I said, yeah, exactly. I left him when my daughter was 3 because I couldn't take the abuse anymore. And he did a lot of emotional damage, and I do worry about the other people in his life, and I sometimes wonder if that's the reason why people are following him and taking his word for it, because of his personality.
Right.
Yeah.
So he, like Josh himself, actually reached out to you personally and started like body shaming you.
No, it was in his YouTube video. He had done
Okay.
a YouTube video, and body shamed me. And it came down like 5 minutes later or 10 minutes later, but I have that video recorded. The minute I heard he went live, I recorded it.
Right.
So I do have that copy.
I just find that, very disrespectful. I mean, because I think it was on the other live that we done with I talked about doing this, to certain individuals, can really cause them some like mental health issues. I mean, people commit suicide and like get really bad eating disorders just for, a comment like that because they don't take it, well. And there's a lot of people like for me, for instance, I have medical issues. Like you said, he doesn't know like our backgrounds or what's going on in our day-to-day lives. People have an issue with weight because of certain underlying medical issues that cause that.
And it goes both ways. Whether you're heavy or thin, it goes both ways.
Right.
My daughter has an issue with her weight, and when she was younger, she was so thin and struggled. I mean, luckily she's kind of worked her way out of that with therapy, and it didn't get very bad. But I mean, I've known other people who have struggled with actually eating, and it's not something to attack a person about. It's no different than handing a recovering drug addict pills and saying, yeah, it's okay, here you go, or a suicidal person a blade and saying, here, that's okay, go ahead.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's sick.
Yeah.
It's very sick.
It messes with people. I mean, in terrible ways. I don't like condone that. Our parents always told us, treat people how you would want to be treated. Treat them with respect, and don't judge a book by its cover.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like I said, everybody else that I met at that conference, and I just want to make that point very clear, I met some wonderful, wonderful people there, and I am so glad I got to meet them.
Right.
But afterwards, I mean, even when Josh personally called me on the phone, yeah, he took an hour out of his time on his way to the restaurant where they were going to go eat for dinner at 1:00 in the morning on that Friday to talk to me. And I get it. And we talk. And I listen to him. But then immediately afterwards, and just like he said on the phone, I don't have to reach out to you. I don't have to talk to you. I'm taking time out of my life to speak with you and share with you what's going on. My instant question was, why are you reaching out to me? What is the big deal? Why would it be so important for you to reach out to somebody who has no basis? I have no channel. I have no followers. The only thing that I could think of is that the reason why somebody would reach out to someone like me at that time was because he didn't want me to come forward with any information.
Right.
Otherwise, why? Why would anybody reach out to me? I'm in the community. I'm a nobody. So I don't understand at that time. And now it's clear to me. And just the way he even said it, too. I'm taking time out of my day to reach out to you. Like, I should be so happy that he called me.
Right. Like, he comes off as mean towards you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's ridiculous.
Before we go any further, before I forget, didn't Anthony mention something, kind of like what I mentioned about the comments? You don't catch them all.
Yeah, actually, he did. So when he reached back out to me and made a comment about I don't want to say this wrong, or so I had stated that I was upset because Josh had made a comment about how he sticks up for people and he doesn't take for bullying and he won't take for attacks in the comments. So when I was asking questions in the YouTube videos and in the Facebook chat, I was being accused of being sus. I was accused of being a fake person.
Yep.
I was accused of lying and trying to start drama. And I kept reiterating to these people that I'm just asking questions, and that's what they need to do as well. And stop taking the word for what they're being told.
Right.
And somebody had made a comment back saying, Josh, PRT and the PRT family is truth, and that's all we need. And my comment back was, I thought I was part of that PRT family, but I guess I'm not, so peace out. And when Anthony came back and asked me why I was so upset making comments and needed to understand their point of view, I said, I understand from what I can see. However, when Josh makes a comment like he stands up for people, but he didn't stand up for me, even after he made that phone call to me, he never addressed it. He never backed it up. He just removed the comment instead.
Wow.
So Anthony's next comment was, I'm not sure what post you're referring to, where you were attacked, but if that's the case, nobody saw it. You have to understand Facebook curates what it shows people on their newsfeed, their posts by people and friends. Lists don't appear there, especially when Wolf has thousands of people on his friends list. We can't see everything everyone posts on Facebook.
Wow. Yeah, and
my whole comment again is, do as I say, not as I do.
Right.
It's okay for them to accuse and attack other people for comments that may have been missed, but it's not okay to question them and ask them.
Yeah, because that's what happened to us. It was over the comment, and then we got attacked for that, for being racial, because one, was out there that we didn't see, So, I mean, like he said, you don't catch them all, so you can't hold us accountable for not catching every single comment that somebody posts. Kind of, no, it's just crazy. And then, Wendy, she was a moderator for us, which she isn't anymore. I guess she got a hold of you, and then she ran to Josh to try to cause all this trouble.
Yep. And I actually confronted her and I asked her why she would do something like that. Why she would not just say something to him that I had previously talked about, but was not going to address any further, but then fabricated into a lie. And I can tell you, she hasn't responded back to me since I asked her why she would do something like lie about me, that I never did anything to her. She couldn't even respond back to me or reply to me. She just said he knew most of it. I'm assuming she added to it. And the only way he would know is because he was there and he knows what happened and he's not saying it.
Right. Yeah, I know that she tried to start up a lot of stuff, but she's no longer a mod for us anymore. We're actually going through the process of going in and weeding out, our mods, getting rid of the ones that are out there trying to cause troubles, spreading rumors, because we don't want that. That's not what this page was created for. It, before all this started and people were attacking not only me but my family, Mike and everything like that. It was just like strictly, the cryptid, the paranormal stuff that we would get, every now and again. But now it's like we have to come on here to try to defend our family because all these false accusations are getting thrown around everywhere, and before you know it, everything's like so twisted up that nobody can keep their story straight. And if it gets thrown out there even more, people, like you said, they just keep adding to it and adding to it just to make it sound better. But in the end, like I don't know if you watched the live from yesterday, but in the end, we hope that we can show everybody what really happened, like the papers or whatever it is that we have to be like, hey, this was all twisted around. And then you guys went and you backed this person just based off of, allegations that they were throwing out there that wasn't even true.
Well, and one of the biggest questions that I still don't understand, that I would still love to ask them, but I don't even want to talk to them.
Right.
This started off as an argument over one thing and has morphed into something completely different, which they are no longer even addressing the first initial issue.
Right.
Yep.
And to me, that just sounds like a individual who is trying to start a fight and come up with anything they could possibly do to start that fight. Weapons of mass destruction in a country that didn't really have it.
Yeah. I know that we get accused a lot of, oh, Mike's worried about the numbers, or they're worried about the numbers, but really, we have came on here and we've said, yeah, we've lost subscribers, but we're not on here, begging everybody to like leave his show like he is on his. We're welcoming everybody, whether they're a part of the PRT, or anybody else that he's like in alliances with. That's fine if they come over here. Like we've said, we just don't want them to bring the drama. Abnormal is a place for everybody to come ask questions. Hope, like I said, hopefully you guys can learn something from here. And then we like learning new things from you guys, and then hearing the stories and everything else. But if you go back to, in my opinion, you go back and it's like all they talk about is the numbers. Well, look how many numbers I'm holding in my life tonight. Look how many numbers I have. Look at my subs. And then they go and they start talking about our subs, and they're like these bot AI things that we've purchased to make it look like we have subs. That is not true.
No.
That is not true at all. We don't go out and like purchase these AI bots to come over here just to make it look like we have subs.
Well, and if it meets the agenda. So at first it was, 2,400, 1,000, whatever the number was, fake accounts that were being run by an individual person. I'm sorry, but the fact that nobody was even questioning that in the beginning, which is one of the things I was questioning and was being attacked about. Think about that logically, people. 1,000 plus accounts. I have two. I have a work account and I have a personal account, and I have a hard enough time keeping track of those. So for any individual, and I'm sorry, I'm not. I don't want to accuse anybody of being stupid, but the fact that they were saying comments about how ignorant and dumb Mike was.
Right.
But yet, running that many accounts, I'm sorry, that would probably take a genius to be able to run that many accounts. So is he dumb or is he extremely intelligent?
Right.
They're contradicting themselves.
Right. And I don't think people are like putting together whenever he's like claiming that we have all these fake thousands of accounts. You have the accounts, but if you've got, say, just for giggles or whatever, say they're claiming that we have 1,000 accounts, okay, then you have to consider that there's 1,000 emails behind that. So right there, that's 2,000 things that you're going to have to run at one time. No one person is going to be able to do that. Not with 1,000, and not even with like 3. I mean, that's crazy.
Yep.
It just frustrates me that. And then, I don't know if you're aware, but like
the whole rock thing.
Yeah, the rock being thrown in the video, we had to go and address that because of the clip that they showed did, make it seem, staged or whatever for that video. But then we had to go back, spend hours searching for this video, going through everything. That way we could play the video and say, okay, here. They tried to make it look a certain way, but here it is. You guys go watch for yourself. Go watch this video.
Yeah.
And we had some people were like, oh wow, he really did make it seem this way, because that's how it looked. So
right.
we're
well, and again, it's do as I say, not as I do.
Right.
So they turned around and took a video and took it out of context and showed only a part and didn't show the entire clip and in its entirety. Yet when he was also accused of certain things, he came back and said, no, show the whole thing or show the whole conversation and don't show it out of context.
Right.
So it's okay to do that himself, but it's not okay when other people are talking about stuff. And I'm not saying that other person did or did not. I don't know. I just remember him saying, don't take it out of context.
Right.
Well, that's exactly what he did.
Right. Yeah. And they even added to that video, like, my opinion, how they did it was they made it look like the subtitles were added to it when really it was typed at the top, because if you put on your own, CCs, it's going to show down at the bottom and how it's written out. And they changed everything that was said in that video pretty much. I mean, it was just crazy.
Well, and again, I laugh because they're the ones with the tech-savvy individuals that are back behind them, able to do things. And anybody that is watching, even videos that Mike has done. Sorry, Mike, I know you're not tech-savvy, but I've seen his videos where he's recording with his phone on the TV because he can't figure it out how to do stuff. So.
Yeah, I know. And like, this other channel that's attacking us, he's always talking about that. Oh, we know how to do all this techie stuff. They're really good at it. So maybe all these fake accounts that they're claiming that are going around, maybe it's them. I mean,
and who knows? Again, my theory, it goes back. My whole theory behind a lot of these fake accounts. Now, I don't know about these particular ones, but fake accounts in general have been around way longer than either one of these shows. And they have been attacking the paranormal community for ages. And my thought is that there is most likely some type of other group of people out there who are trying to put the false narrative on the paranormal community to get people to turn away. Just like, for instance, people were being accused of being crazy if they saw an alien. And now, all of a sudden, there are intelligent life out there, and the government has finally come out and said, yes, there are UFOs that are not ours or not human, and where they're from, whatever. So what happens to all these people that have been attacked and accused and criticized for years? It doesn't matter if it's in the media or on YouTube. I truly believe that there is some other underlying organization that is attacking people. And right now, they're sitting back and they are laughing because the paranormal community is doing the work for them.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
They
just
just,
my
they just
theory.
keep spreading lies after lies
Uh-huh.
after lies.
Yes.
Yeah, and then
He just attacks women all the time.
yeah,
Like he makes it his goal to do that.
What? I'm sorry.
you have to
Cutting out.
speak up.
Where he just attacks women. He just tries to make it his goal, I'm guessing.
Mm.
It's just sad how he does that
Yeah.
and has no remorse of doing that to women in general.
Uh-huh.
hmm You know, back on the, like we were talking about, like not being tech savvy or whatever, and he's claiming, you know, that he has people that are these like really tech savvy people that he has for them, and then to say that and then talk about all these fake accounts, he sure does know a lot about it. That's
Uh-huh.
that's like my thing right there. So, you know,
Yeah.
my opinion, you know, it could very well possibly be them behind all these accounts.
Yeah. Considering he's the one that's coming up with these ideas. Yeah. Sorry, I just keep thinking
Yeah, I
whoever
know.
said it or farted, whoever smelled it dealt it.
Right, yeah. We do have a question from a person in the chat. Do you think that they're involved in like any type of like witchcraft or, you know, anything along the lines of that at all?
um, I couldn't honestly say they are. Um, when I was at the conference,
Mhm.
I really did not get that feeling. Now, um, since we've returned, since things have taken the turn the way they have, I've seen a major shift in his
Mhm.
um, way of handling things
Right.
and the way he talks about people and the accusations and the comments. Could I, in my opinion, could I honestly say that the devil is working through him?
Mhm.
He definitely is not working in Jesus' name.
No.
I have to say that because no honest Christian could ever make the accusations and the attacks and the verbal comments
Right.
and the things that he says.
Right. Like
And
I don't know if you're like familiar with like the Facebook videos that he's made. Um some of those videos on there is like blasphemy towards, you know, Christians and God. The way he goes on there, because he says he's acting as someone. But if you're acting as someone and you're still like doing that, to me, you know, it's the same thing as, you know, yourself doing it. And then
yeah,
all those videos on there, you know, to me he's making fun of us for being Christians. That's how it comes off.
Yeah.
It's a lot of mockery, and then along with like the slangs of where we come from, you know, our backgrounds, our, you know, racial backgrounds.
Yeah.
You know, to me, in my personal opinion, that's not a true Christian.
right.
Because
Well, and as a Christian, we should be embracing
right,
all people, all races, all religions, all beliefs,
right,
all peoples. And the whole point of being a Christian is to lead people to Christ so
right,
that they can find our Savior and be forever in the home of the Lord.
right.
And by coming across the way he does, I go back to my thought growing up was we're supposed to act in God's name and in Jesus' name. And if we are portraying ourselves in such a horrendous way as he is, how is that going to make any person who's questioning their religious beliefs go, yes, that is the faith I need to follow?
Right.
That's not working in Jesus' name.
No. I mean, how I look at it, as a Christian, you do your very best to live by God's word. I mean, all of us, are far from perfect. I mean, I get that. But, you still know right from wrong. You know that you're supposed to, follow, your very best of what he wants you to do, and, build people up instead of like tearing them down.
Yes.
That's how I see it. But I mean, I can't make everybody see it that way, and I get that. But I just don't like how we're attacked in that sort of way.
Yeah.
Saying now, I guess we're uh like these witches. We're being called, witches, and we're into this witchcraft and voodoo, and there's like a whole bunch of other. There is none of that. We don't do none of that. I'd be like shaking in my own skin if I even tried or even wanted to do something like that. I'm not that brave. I mean, I've done it before in the past before, I got right with God and I was saved. I used to, read into all that kind of stuff. But now, in understanding it all and what can happen, there's no way. Like, I just want to kick myself for even doing it back then.
Well, and a lot of it too is ignorance. Ignorance breeds anger, and anger breeds hate. And if people would just stop allowing the ignorance to overwhelm themselves in life and ask the questions and get the information and learn and educate themselves, they wouldn't be so angry in life. And every single time I see an attack, and I have to tell you, I blocked him. I blocked his channel on Facebook because I can't even have that in my life. The toxicity of his posts and everything. I don't even want to see it in my feeds. It's not healthy, and it's important for people to question. And if before people get angry and start making accusations, get the information, educate yourselves. And I guess if there's anything that I could leave tonight and express and address and ask for people to do is ask the correct questions, ask what is going on, get the information, and get the actual information.
Right, the
do
facts.
The research. Yes. Don't just take one source. We're taught that in school is, you're doing a research paper. You don't go to one source to get all of the information because it's not going to work.
Right.
Exactly.
Get the sources, get information from sources that aren't on the same agenda, and get the information.
Yeah.
People do your research, whether it's paranormal or it's something like this.
Right.
Exactly.
You have to. I mean, nowadays you have to research everything because everything, like you said, gets turned around, so much on people. It's disturbing, to think about it because now with all this being twisted, I don't know if you've seen, a couple of our latest videos that I've talked on. It's to the point now to where if we go to like our local grocery store or, just down the road, to go on an investigation or something, we get these cars that come in behind us. And where we are, that just doesn't happen because we're like so far away, from like the bigger cities, we live, pretty far out in the country. It's not normal just for people just to be straight behind you like that. And then we got these people, that'll cut us off at every turn that we make. And then, I've had somebody trying to get in my back door a couple times. And then you go outside and then, that, like we've said before, you get that feeling like you're being watched. And you can tell if it's like somebody or if it's like, something that makes you feel uncomfortable, like the evilness in the air.
Yeah.
Right.
you get that feeling that you're being watched. You can't go outside, with your kids and feel comfortable anymore because, you know, like Abe, for instance, like how he threatened me, knowing what he's trained in and trained to do, he could lay out in any of these fields, and pick any of us off, at any time.
It's just scary.
Well, I can't say that I would ever think that he would do something like that. Um, I don't know him, but I doubt that he would. However, there are super fans that do follow everybody's page,
Right.
everybody's channel, and there's been situations of super fans that have done very malicious things.
Right.
Not on this, maybe not on these channels, but on other channels. It's out there.
Right.
People should know this. So
Yeah.
I understand the fear that you're going through and what possibilities are out there, and it's scary. And no, you can't control those people, unfortunately. And nobody should have to worry about that. Going to the grocery store or taking a walk in your neighborhood or in the woods or anything like that. It should not be something that we should have to worry about.
Yeah, you shouldn't
looking
have
out
to.
For.
You shouldn't have to fear every day, about walking out on your own property, to let your kids play in the yard, or we used to walk down the road, with them, and now it's just like, oh gosh, there's a car. Who is it? What do we do?
Right.
It's just, I don't know.
Just sad.
I don't like feeling that way, and it's unnerving. Especially the part that really gets to me is, my trying to get in my door.
Yeah.
That was probably the worst for me.
Well, and from my own experience, a few years ago, I had a break-in my house when I was on vacation, and um, that I felt like my home was no longer my home. It took a long time before I actually felt comfortable in my home again. So fortunately, they didn't take a whole lot, but it was a violation of my privacy, of my life, of my home. So I feel for you. I feel
right.
I understand that fear,
right.
And it breaks my heart that y'all have to go through that.
I mean, it's
nobody should have to feel that way.
No, and I don't wish that on anybody. And like for the people that are in our chat right now, we don't condone or want anybody going out and trying to harm anybody over all this drama that's going on. We don't want you guys to do anything. We don't want you to go there and start stuff with them. We don't want any of that to happen. We just want to be able to be left alone. We want our names to be left alone, the slandering, the threats, and everything just to stop. And then, he does his show however he wants it. We do our show however we want it. And then all the other people that are involved and allied with him, just go away, do your thing. But we can't just sit back and not defend, ourselves and our family. We can't do that.
Right.
But like whenever everything is all said and done and we can, everything will be shown, everything will be brought out. That way everybody once again can see who did it, what they did, and everything that they're claiming against everybody that isn't true. Then we will have the proof that we can show everybody on there. And then hopefully, but I'm doubtful that he will ever stop, because to me it's like he thrives for the drama and the attention that he gets from it, of people, I care about you, you're great. It's like he likes hearing all that. I can understand that people like to hear that, but don't go on there and just do it for attention, because in the end, you could make yourself look really foolish by going out and spreading all these rumors that you don't have the facts to, that are being spread by others that are complete lies.
Yeah.
He reminds me of a corrupt politician.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Yeah, and we do have a lot of proof. And if I could right now, I would show everybody, but right now we just can't, but we will. I mean, it will be shown that way. We can
Well,
prove ourselves that this isn't how we are. This isn't what we are. I it would be nice if everybody could go back to how everything used to be, instead of, okay, here's a video of our research, and then the next one we come on, it's like, well, we got attacked again because this is being said, and then we have to go back and address that, because like I said, we have to stick up for our family. We have to defend ourselves over false allegations that just aren't true.
right.
But
And, just like most people in the paranormal community that are experiencers, I get it, and I don't need the proof because I'm an experiencer.
mhm.
I know what I know.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all the people that have not experienced it that are the ones that are fighting and trying to say, where's the proof and show us. And for all those people that have not experienced, just like in the paranormal community, be glad you haven't experienced it because you don't want to be on that end.
Right. Yeah.
But unfortunately, yeah, it's an unfortunate fight. It's an unfortunate
Yeah.
battle.
That's why I said I just wish it would stop that way. Everything. You know, just calm it down. Go back to doing what you're doing and just leave us alone. That's all we've
Right.
asked.
Right.
But
Thank you, Ghost.
thank you, Ghost, for that. We appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, I've kept you over an hour again this time.
That's okay. I love talking with you guys.
Well, we enjoy talking to you.
Yeah.
Hopefully, the next time, we can come on here and talk about something other than the drama that's going on
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Like spooky, paranormal, cryptid
Yeah.
craziness.
Yeah, it's fun, and I like talking to you. You're an easy person to talk to. So maybe we can like get together. Talk about maybe you and I and Kaylee and Mike doing like a Halloween type story together or something like that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it'd be great. I'm
Yeah.
excited now.
Yeah.
I get into these stories. I like listening and learning about new things.
Yes.
But
See, I've been reading about paranormal since I can remember.
right.
Oh man, way back when. I was telling. I went to a private school growing up, so I remember I did an 8th grade term paper on whether or not ghosts could be photographed and recorded, and I put so much research into this, and I had so much information, and I turned around and I got a B. And I'm going, why?
Oh,
Why
no.
did I get a B? Well, we couldn't give you an A because there are no such thing as ghosts.
Oh.
Like, did you read my paper?
Right? Yeah. Like maybe you should do your own research.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because I have a different perspective on all that.
So, yes, I would love to come back on and share stories and do a
Awesome.
special Halloween thing. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it would be, but I will let you get off here. But feel free to reach out
Okay.
to me anytime. If you need somebody to talk to or whatever, just reach out. You got my contact information. So,
Yep.
but I want to thank
Sounds
you
good.
for coming on here and sharing your stories and hoping help clear some things up in the air.
Yep. All right, you ladies have a great night.
You too. It was good talking to you. Have a good night.
Thanks.
Bye bye. Guys, I just have to say, I think Jessie's a really sweet lady.
Yeah.
I'm glad that she came on here and talked to us tonight, giving her perspectives, since she was there. Hopefully, that helps, open some people's eyes to some of the things that have went on. But if anybody has any questions now, because we're going to be ending pretty soon, go ahead and throw them up in the chat in bold letters. That way we can see them. Because as Mike's mentioned before, I'm blind whenever I sit way back here.
So I'm like, I have to lean all the way up there.
Thank you, Margie. You. Thank you so much for that. I think we're lagging a little bit, so if I miss a question, just give it just a second. I can see it. The chat's glitching. Yes, thank you, Jessie, for coming on here. It was great to talk to you. She's easy to talk to. Yeah. I like that.
She has interesting stories.
Yeah. Oh, there. Please put all questions in capital letters so we can see them if anybody have any. I think she has some good information, though.
She did. She's really nice.
Thank you, Connie. That was actually made by a great family friend, I should say. Was it made or did they? They bought it, but it was handmade whenever they bought it. Mike is not with us tonight. This is just an all-girls night. We took over the show. We're tired of him being in the spotlight.
It's our night tonight.
Let's see. I think I missed a question. It shot up. I know that Mike will be on Friday night talking about a conference.
Yeah.
We're talking about the conference.
He'll be back.
And there'll be a panel on the Friday night show. So that's exciting. And of course, I'll be there. Kaylee will be there. So you guys will get to see us again. Oh, thank you for that, Kobe. This was our first live.
Yeah.
Like by ourselves.
I think we did pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I ain't gonna lie, a little bit nervous that we did it. Mike made the women mad and got kicked. That's right, Randy. he got kicked for tonight. Thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brooks.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, what? Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
I think our next Boots on the Ground is going to be on Monday. I know that we're going to be filming a cooking video for you guys tomorrow, weather permitting, because it was kind of unpredictable today. It wasn't supposed to rain, but then we got rain early this morning, and then it was windy again. So hopefully we have a better day tomorrow. And then I know that we're going to go make a video, like I said, a cooking video for Wide Open Adventures. And then later that night, we're going to go out, boots on the ground.
We're going to be super busy.
I need to make a song. Boots on the ground, boots on the ground. I can make a song.
I'm sure you could.
I could. I'm like the outgoing one, I guess. I'm always chipper. Let's see. Let me see. I'm trying to figure out the chat here. It just like disappeared. Also, guys, before we end the live, I don't think we're going to get we haven't gotten very many questions. So before we end, I just want to encourage you guys to go over and check out Dark Waters. He's got some great content out there. Make sure to like and subscribe, to him, like his videos. Also, go over and check out D.A. Roberts. He's got a great show over there.
Yeah, they're both amazing.
Make sure to, subscribe to them. Like their videos if you can. Watch them whenever they go live. They both have some really great stuff, that they put out. So we just want to encourage you guys to go over there and check them out and see what you guys think. Oh, Lisa, I'm sorry.
Oh no.
Let's see. I'm trying. And also, guys, I just noticed something. If everybody could, when this live ends, if you could go under the comment section and please wish Mike a happy birthday, because today is his birthday. So I think that would bring some joy to his day, seeing, the comments of everybody, wishing him the happy birthday in the comment section. Just blow it up, guys. We know you can do it because each and every one of you are awesome.
Mm-hmm. We appreciate all of you.
Rosie, there's a lot going on with that. Just a bunch of drama.
That we don't
Thank you, Donna. Good night. I hope you have a great week too.
Good night. Thank you, Marie.
All right, guys. I think we're going to call it. We had a great live tonight. We enjoyed talking with Jessica. We were glad that each and every one of you could join Kaylee and I tonight. I want to thank you for taking your time to like this video. And if you can, post a happy birthday for Mike in the comment section. Just blow that up for him. I know it'd make his day, a little bit brighter. But thank you again, guys. And we will see you next time. God bless everybody. Yeah. And as Mike always says, don't be something's dinner and keep your head on swivel. Bye, guys.